My name is Jihan Abass. I'm the founder of Lami and an app called Griffin as well. I grew up in Kenya in Mombasa, and I was inspired to go into the insurance industry after finding out that 97% of Africans don't have access to insurance. I grew up in Mombasa at the coast. I went to a very small school called Mombasa Academy. And once I finished high school, I was very adamant of going into finance, working in finance. So I went to study actually finance in London. And I thought that was what I was meant to do. And working there for a year and a half, I realized that, actually, there's a lot more that I can do at home, Yeah, I was not as inspired because I was working as a sugar trader, commodities futures trader, and it felt that everybody just cared about money, everybody just cared about, these kinds of frivolous things, and I didn't feel like I was actually making an impact. So when I heard about this problem of people don't have access to insurance, actually it happened when I met a waiter and he told me that he didn't have health insurance. So I went home and started Googling, and I found that actually 97% of people don't have access to insurance. And, I sat there and I said, what can I do to help this? How can I solve this problem? And then I quit my job the next week, actually, and I came back home. There's always the fear that it's not going to work. Even today, I work every single day and I still think like, it might still not work. Am I actually going to have this impact? So there's always that fear. But for me, it was more about, it was a very scary decision because I had everything was very stable, but you're taking a big risk there. Quitting a really good job in an industry that, has huge potential for you to climb up the ladder. But my family are entrepreneurs, and since I was very young, I always felt as though that's the route that I was supposed to take, And I always saw my dad and my mom working, for themselves, and having that control. And I always thought back to that, and I said to myself, if they could do it and they also had children, at the same time, I think for me, I can definitely do it. But there's days that it's hard, and I sit there and wonder if it's going to work. Is it actually going to be the success that I hope? Am I actually going to be able to help people? But that's an inner battle, and I think the only thing that I can do is persevere until the very end. For me, it's just about perseverance, and I have a lot of hope. For 5 years, and then I came back and I set up Griffin, and that was essentially just the first way for me to go into I don't know if you've bought car insurance here, but it's very difficult. So I tried to see what I could do and how I could transform the car insurance industry first, and then I realized along the way that the technology that I've built can be used by so many people to create and distribute insurance products. So it was a big culture shock actually coming back home. I think I used to work in a very fast-paced environment in which if you're not that good, honestly, there's a young person there who's going to take your place in a heartbeat. So you have to always be in the office at 6 a.m. working late. It was very tough, and when I came here, things felt a bit more very slow, and I used to get a bit frustrated. But then I think it's about balance and learning how other people work, and eventually you come to understand and become accustomed to things here as well, but still having the standards that I had set for myself from my previous experiences. pre-COVID, I would probably get into the office at about 8. And then just honestly, it's all about like we just had like team meeting in the morning just to align with the team and see what we needed to do. And then most of the day is just, unfortunately, in a startup is putting out fires. So like, what doesn't work, let's fix it, and brainstorming with the team. I have a very great team, a really great team, and it's been really amazing, and I was really lucky to have the team that I have. And so, but most of my days just literally meetings. Even now, post-COVID, it's just on Zoom, back-to-back calls. But I guess that's the role that I have to play now, you know. But yeah, it's great, it's fun. There's exciting days where, like a couple of weeks ago, we went live on Jumia. You know, it's like there's days like that where it's like really exciting. And then there are days that are just very long, you know, but still fun. My goal is to, maybe I should start by giving an overview of what it is that Lami is. Lami is an insurance platform. So we've digitized the entire insurance value chain into one platform. So anybody can use that platform to create and distribute their products without having to pay very high development costs, without having to take 2 years to launch a product. So you can launch a product in less than 4 weeks and at 80% less cost. For me, it's about, I realized that if I actually want to increase insurance penetration, I can't do it on my own. So that's why I created the infrastructure to allow others as well to create digital products, and hopefully they'll be more affordable and have a wider reach to the greater population. It was actually really tough when I came back from the UK. I was about 23. People were not taking me that seriously at that time. Maybe it's because I looked about 16. But one of the things that I did was I went to do my MBA. So in 2018, I decided, you know, if people are not going to take me seriously because they think I look younger than I actually am, I'm going to go get a piece of paper that says I'm qualified and, you know, in a position in which they can trust me. So I went to do my MBA in 2018 at Oxford, and I think that really helped to an extent. But yeah, I also think that once you can show the value of what it is that you're building, you know, people look past that. At the beginning, it was difficult to even sign up insurance companies because they're like, oh, what is it that you're trying to do? How are you going to pause your insurance? You know, that was a big question we got. So it was difficult, but in the end, when they saw the impact and the people actually, the customers actually wanted this. You know, people actually want to have flexibility. People want to have access to products very easily. I think they realized that, you know, it's something that they also want to be a part of. And I think as soon as we cracked that, I think it helped a lot. But it's not, in my previous work also, I was the youngest working on a trade floor with almost all men. There was only 4 women. So I'm very much used to working in those kinds of environments, unfortunately. But I hope that in the future, you know, that things are going to change. And even in the tech scene, you know, there's going to be more female founders, you know, coming to the forefront. I really hope that happens. And I hope that even if I play a small part in inspiring somebody, I hope that, you know, they can look and say, okay, I can do it too, you know.